welcome to Roanoke Hobby and Electronics. And this is going to be part 2 of our look at the Artaboy, the Arduino based gaming platform that was launched on Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter units are shipping now. And you can go to the Artaboy.com website and pre-order, and soon we'll be having the Artaboy available in retail stores. And let's switch over here. So there's the Artaboy. It has some different colors that you can choose from. And this is, I think this is going to be a really fun combination of Arduino gaming platform. It's got quite a community that has developed around it, and what makes it so fun is there's people that have been writing games for the Artaboy, and they're available for you to download, and using the IDE. You can load them on the Artaboy, and not only that, can you load these games, pick and choose the games that you want to load and play on there. But you've got the code. You can change the code and make the game more the way you like it. That's what we're going to take a look at today. Then is we're going to take the example game that comes with the Artaboy library, and we're going to load it up on here, and then we're going to make some changes, and then hopefully then we'll get it. We're going to get the hacked version loaded on there, and hopefully it's going to work on the first try. But before we jump into that, I'm just going to show you here. The teamarg.org website is one of the groups I was talking about in the Artaboy community that's been developing games, and you can go to their website and look at. They've got several different games that they've already released, and this virus LQP79 is actually one of the newer ones that they've just released, and you can download the Artaboy version. There's also a version for the dev kit that I was showed in the part 1, and you can download the zip file, and then when you unzip it, you'll end up with a folder for the game, and that is what you can copy and drop into your sketchbook. And what I've done, I've renamed the folder there, but it actually had the number 11 on the folder there because it was revision 11. But once you drop it into the sketchbook folder, then it's available for you to load in the IDE, and then upload it to the Artaboy. But we'll get back to looking at here the IDE, and so this first one we're going to look at then under examples. Artaboy, there's going to be Artaboy Breakout, and we're going to go ahead and load this on here. And I've got the Artaboy plugged in, and first little tip there is you actually have to turn it on. So you can then compile and load. So it's uploading, and then So there's the game right out of the box. And right there, that's one of the first things I want to change. Then is that welcome screen, or the first screen here, and by default the game just has 3 lives, and then you got to start over. So that's something else I want to change to make this a little bit more enjoyable. I want to have a few more lives. And also, part of what we want to do then is add displaying how many lives you have left. And so that's what we're going to take a look at here. And we're going to jump back over here to the IDE. And this is, to me, this is like I said, this is part of the fun. Then is actually looking at the code and making some changes to make the game exactly the way you like it. So we've got the sketch. We've got some bitmaps that are needed for the game. There's going to under the separate tabs. Not necessarily going to change any of that, but you're going to include the Artaboy library. We're going to create an Artaboy object that we're going to work with, and just scroll through some of the code here. And the first thing I wanted to change then was the number of lives. Make this a little more fun. I want to have a few more lives before I have to start over again. So we're going to change that to 9. And as we scroll down, there's actually I discovered there's a second place where you have to change that. So I think there's probably actually some room for improvement instead of having to change that in 2 places. I bet there's a better way of doing that so that you only need to change it in 1 place. But let's scroll down here a little bit more. And we have the opening intro here. And this is just something that I like to do. Instead of just saying Artaboy there in this opening sequence, I actually want to say this is Artaboy. Bang. And actually, instead of just popping it there on the screen, I actually want it to, oh yeah, that's right. It drops down really fast. It's really quickly. So the, just a little bit of a change here, right after. So you're clearing the screen. Well, first you're putting it in a loop where you're going to step down. You're going to draw it down. It's going to draw and appear that it's like dropping down on the screen. I'm actually going to give it a few more steps to drop down. And if I'm looking at this right, I actually moved. You set the cursor position and then print, and then the text that you want to print on the screen, and then Artaboy.display then draws that to the screen. And instead of it just dropping down immediately, I want to give it just a small delay because it scrolls just too fast. And then we're just going to use delay and 75 milliseconds. And so that's going to change the intro. Sorry, I bumped into the microphone there. Okay. So we're going to change the intro a little bit. Let's scroll down here. And then this is the rest of the logic that draws the paddle and the blocks and controls the how the ball spins off of the paddle. I'm not going to make any changes to that because the basic gameplay is fine. I don't see any major glitches in the actual gameplay. But I do want to get down here. The one thing I said I wanted to actually display on the screen the number of lives that we have left, and I discovered there was actually a function here called draw lives, and it doesn't actually in the configuration right out of the box, it doesn't actually draw that to the screen. So that we're going to change this this function here just a little bit, and need to scroll down to where it calls draw lives. And then we should actually see that function. And I guess I went past it, so let's go. Sorry about that. We're going to scroll back up here. Okay, yeah, I had to pause the video and actually get to the right spot. But and while I was pausing, I came to the realization that I skipped over an important step here. So we opened up the example sketch, and you can't actually change the example sketch. You need to go to File and then Save As, and you want to actually save it in the the sketchbook. So we're just going to say Ardubreakout 2 and save. And so now the changes that we made are going to be saved, and then you can load that game instead of the default game. But we'll get back to where we were at here. And so what I was looking for was this section right here. This is where we have the function called draw lives, and the reason we don't ever see it on the screen is that we don't have all the pieces that we need right here to draw the number of lives left onto the screen. So that's what we're going to change. And the first thing I'm going to add in here is we're actually going to put this inside of a if statement, and there we go. And we only really need to draw the number of lives left on the screen if the game is still in play. We don't need to draw the lives once the game is over. So we're going to add this if statement. If draw lives is greater than 1, because there's no need to display lives when the game is over. All right. So if that is true, then it's going to run this code here, and a good bit of it is right. But first thing is I'm going to put it in a slightly different position on the screen, and this really was like trial and error to find the right spot. So that's we're going to set the cursor, the position of the and the text of the lives, and then the part that we're missing then is the of the Artaboy object. We need to call the display function, and I'm going to use just a little bit of a delay here, though that it stays on the screen just a little while there. And then also what I found was once you displayed it, you need to blank it out. So I'm just going to drop in the code here, and so then that same, we're going to set the cursor in the same position, but we're just going to print just some spaces there, and that will effectively blank it out. So that's the code there to display the number of lives left on the screen. And the next thing that we need to do is there's the second spot where you need to put in the number of lives. And like I said, this is where I think there's some room for improvement. But it was here. And if I need to, I'll have to pause the screen while I find it. Don't spend so much time. Okay, yeah, now I found it. So actually, I have to scroll down past the rest of the game logic that draws the paddles and the bricks and stuff. And you get down here, and this is the part that's in every Arduino sketch. Is you're going to have the initial setup, and if I scroll down here a little bit, then there's the loop section. That's going to run the game, and you get down here to the where it gets to the draw game over, and that's where there is a second place where the number of lives gets set. So that was actually quite frustrating, because when I was trying to initially make these changes, I kept going back to having just 3 lives, and after you play the game once, that's because it defines it again here. So when the game's over, then it like resets, so you're ready to start a new game. So I'm going to change that to 9, and we're gonna save. And then while I'm in this spot, there's another thing I wanted to change here in the setup. It prints very quickly to the screen, hello world, and I wanted to make that just a little bit different. So right there where it has the Artaboy.begin, so it starts the game, but we're going to set the cursor in a slightly different place. And then print hello world, and then display, and it just goes by way too quickly, so we're going to put a little bit of a delay there. And then it calls the the function that we already edited, and that's going to be intro. And then that's where it's going to scroll down this is Artaboy. So we made those two changes, and click up here and hit save again. And we got the number of lives in there. So I think that is I think that's going to be the changes that we're going to try first. So then we'll go up here and we'll click the upload. Is going to recompile and then upload to the Artaboy. And if I didn't make any serious mistakes, and we get well, hello world's not quite in the right spot, but we did get the this is Artaboy. And there's the arachnoid. That's the other thing we're going to want to go back and change. So we're going to put the hello world in a slightly different spot and change that arachnoid. But let's check to see if the other part we changed. Yep, we got the displaying the lives there, and we're counting it down. We got 9 lives, and we see how many we got left. Yeah, this is actually sometimes it'll actually clear the whole level without actually moving the paddle. There we go. We just cleared the level there. And then game over. So, okay. So, it also stores the high scores there on the EEPROM section. All right, so let's go back and we just need to put that hello world in the intro in a slightly different spot. Or this is like just before the intro, so that part was working. Get back down here to the setup. Okay. Oh yeah, I know. So when I had done this before, we didn't have that the Artaboy library just draws the big Artaboy to the screen there. So we kind of have to move that in a different position so it doesn't run into it. And then there's a couple places where that arachnoid shows up. And actually what'll be easier will be to there it is, we find it. There we go. And I think the other thing I noticed was if I change it to Ardubreakout, that doesn't fit on the screen, so I have to drop the text size down. So this is a good way to kind of learn the Artaboy, the functions, and the things that are in the Artaboy library. And the best way to learn it is just to get in there and start looking at the code and making some changes, see how it works. And that's all, that's all part of the fun of the whole thing then is you get to do that and then upload it until you get to the game to just exactly the way that you like. And yeah, so there's some things there that I'm not getting right there. But so that's setting the cursor. We need to move it into a couple different positions here. Change the position of putting that so that it fits on the screen better. But that's part of the trial and error. Looks like looking at my notes here, this might be a better position. And there's two places where that gets drawn to the screen. And go back to the setup. Gosh. But these are X and Y coordinates. We'll try that position. And we're not going to drag this on much more. I'm just going to try one more load here. There, that's much better. Hello world, this is Artaboy. Okay. But the draw lives is in a good spot. It shows you how many lives you got left, then clears it. We don't want this to go on forever. Actually, you probably got a whole lot of patience to hang in there with me this far, and we'll get to the last part, see how it draws it to the screen. There you go. That's much better. Ardubreakout instead of the arachnoid. Okay, and so that is loading the game and hacking the game and making changes to make it exactly the way you like it. So hopefully that is going to be useful. It gives you a starting point. Like I said, the best way is to just get in there and look at the code, look at the Artaboy library, and see what functions you have available, and then start coding your game. And what I'll probably do is in the future make another video where we code a simple game or a simple program to run on Arduboy and go into a little more detail. But for now, we're going to wrap this up. And thanks for watching. Stop by the blog roanokhobby.info, and if you found the video useful, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and thanks again.